I'm here now on the stage with the man himself, Chris Thile. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Paige.
Absolutely. And tell me, how old were you when you first knew that you wanted to pursue music?
Oh, I think I was 2, I think, when I started begging for a mandolin from my folks. And I think they didn't believe me at first, but after 3 years, I wore them down, which was probably a bad lesson to teach a young fellow if you just ask for something long enough. But I loved the sound right from the start. They took me to a pizza place that played live music, that had live music every Saturday, and the leader of the band was a mandolinist, super charismatic guy, and I just wanted to do what he did. And I loved the mandolin. It was small, and so was I, small, and high-pitched, and so was I, high-pitched. And so, yeah, it was just love at first sight, I think. And eventually, you become less and less enamored with your chosen instrument, and it's just like your speaking voice. I don't know how you feel about your speaking voice. It's very nice. But I feel about my speaking voice just, well, it's what I got. I don't really like it or dislike it. And that's honestly how I feel about the mandolin at this point. The same cannot be said about just being a musician. I love being a musician. So I'm very, very happy that Mom and Dad got me that mandolin when I was 5.
And that's wonderful. And your parents actually live here, and your dad works in the music department.
He does. He's a piano technician.
Very nice.
And instruments of all sorts. He'll make sure that they sound beautiful.
And how does it feel to be back here at Murray State and sharing your love of music with students?
We had such a fun class today. I guess master class. It was billed as really thoughtful questions. First from some professors here, but then the students got in on it, and I had a great time. It's always a little funny, you do most of the talking in those things. But I loved what they were asking, and you do get that sense when you're in a room talking about things like that of whether or not it's resonating. And I felt a pretty serious kinship with the people that were there today, that it was resonating, and also just walking around, because that was what I did. I went to school here, and seeing people walk from the music building to like the library, it's like there are rails, that we all eventually ride from place to place, and it made me want to go to class.
And tonight's concert is actually a benefit concert.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about where the proceeds are going?
Yeah, we're gonna do. So I asked the good folks at Murray State, like, what would be fun. I knew I wanted to do. I haven't played here in years, which is wrong. That's just wrong. I really feel like the last time might have been 6 or 7 years ago, maybe longer. In fact, for sure longer, because it was on the Nickel Creek farewell tour, I think. So over 10 years ago. No, I'm lying. 8 years ago. But I wanted to play here, and I wanted to do something for the music department, which did so much for me. One thing that I think Murray State can fly under the radar sometimes, but this is a very flexible, encouraging, nurturing environment here. And for someone like me who didn't really fit any particular, like an existing academic mold, as far as, I didn't play the violin or the oboe, or, I didn't come in as a composer or have, I played the mandolin and I could kind of play the violin, and so they're like, well, play violin in the orchestra. We'll call you a violin performance major, but do what you want. Take the courses. Here are some required things, but like if you want to take composition classes, you can do that. And then just generally, it was full of people who, it's staffed by people who love music and who were willing to, kind of hear me out on my strange ideas about, how maybe things weren't quite so different as they seem on the surface. between, say, classical and non-classical music. But I loved my time here, and I can remember like the music library upstairs, having so much fun in there, and wondering like, oh, well, maybe something for the music library, or like what would be helpful. And they said scholarships would be helpful, like money for scholarships. So that's what we're going to do with the proceeds from the show tonight is start a scholarship for really any musician who shows a lot of promise and could use the money, but also, taking into account musicians who may kind of fall through the cracks of again, kind of existing programs, so that there's a place for someone who really loves music and is earnest about improving themselves in the in a collegiate environment, but again, doesn't necessarily just sit around playing an orchestra instrument.
Well, you are definitely an inspiration to the music students here at Murray State, and we thank you so much for joining us today and coming and playing on our campus.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. It is a real joy to be back.